What you guys, got another product review here for you, sent over by ID Cooling. This is the Frostflow 240L water cooling system. This is the closed loop water cooling system, and this is the blue edition. Now this retails about £73.98 in the UK with free delivery from eBuyer, but you may be able to get it cheaper elsewhere. It's also available in the States. Comes with a copper based plate on the bottom of the water block and also high static pressure fans. Comes with a massive aluminium radiator to dispense all their heat, and also it comes with universal mounting brackets for Intel and AMD processors. I will list these out on the box. As you can see here up the top, it gives you all the sockets that it supports for this AMD and Intel, and also it gives you all the specifications for the unit itself, i.e. the Waterblock dimensions, the tubing and speed of the actual pump, which is 2500 revs per minute, and also it gives you the decibels, the speed of the fans and stuff like that. The dimensions of the actual radiator itself is 274 by 120 by 27 millimeters, but all the information is there on the screen. I will post this all in the description of the video as well, so you can take a look at that. Okay, so inside the box you have your user manual, and this is all in English and also comes with pictures and diagrams to help you install your closed loop water cooling system, and it is pretty easy to install. Now you may not have to use the backplate on some of the sockets, i.e. the 2011 socket. You don't have to use the backplate, which is very nice. But again, I will show you how to install all this a little bit later on. So let's take a look what you get inside here. You've got your backplate, which you may use for certain sockets, also your splitter for your fans, your compound for your CPU and water block there. You've got your bracket and also your screws and fixings for your radiator and your water block. And these are good quality and good design types of screws as well. They're no cheap screws that you can get in some units. Also you've got your fans here, two quality fans that you get in your high static pressure fans, and these are also maximum airflow of 84.5 CFM. Also spin at 800 by 2000 revs per minute. Comes with a 4-pin plug on the end there, as you can see. Now this is the actual pump tubing and radiator here. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on, but this is your actual black backplate. You can see the quality of the backplate is very good design, and also it comes with good padding, and it comes with all your fixtures and fittings to get this installed on your system if you need to use it, and it comes with an array of different sockets that it supports Intel and AMD. So let's take a closer look at the actual fan here. Pretty nice unique design on the fan. The actual blue part, I'm not sure if that's interchangeable, but you don't get any other colours in the box. You can buy other colours like red, and I've seen blue as well. The actual cable is flat, as you can see. You get a nice length of cable, 4-pin on the end. The maximum airflow for these are 84.5 CFM, and also the maximum static pressure is 3.2 mmH2O. The noise is 20 to 38.2 decibels, and also a pretty decent quality fan. I'm pretty sure that you can use other fans if you wish, but you can also see the DC 12 volts, 0.38 amps, and also the DC brushless fan is there. And you can also got the model ID number, which will allow you to purchase other fans, or if you want to get the identical fans or replacements for this particular type of fan. Now also again, I do like the idea of having its own compound in its own tube. I don't like the ones that come pre-installed on the actual block itself, because sometimes these get smudged when you're trying to install the actual water cooling unit. And here you can see this comes in its own little tube, which is a nice little touch. I do like that. And also the actual radiator itself uses a TDP of 200 watts. As you can see here, the radiator material is aluminium. The tube material is EPDM rubber. The tube length is about 315 millimeters for that as well. The water block dimensions are 65 times 36 millimeters, and the radiator, I've given you the full specs of the radiator earlier on, which is 274 by 120 by 27 millimeters. As you can see there, very nice unique design there, pretty similar to all the other radiators that I've seen, and my machine did have the actual Kraken X61 in it, and it looks pretty similar to this as well. Now as I said, the pump bearing on this is a ceramic bearing, and the pump speed is about 2,500 revs per minute. A pump current is 0.25 amps. So I'm going to take a look here. As you can see here, this is your EPDM rubber tubing, pretty nice and flexible. Again, it's fixed to this end here. As you can see, you can't refill this type of unit. It is sealed, but it is flexible at the other end. You'll see these parts don't move on this end, but down the other end it has got some movability on it, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later on as well. You can see it is movable. Also, the actual pump life expectancy here is about 50,000 hours. So what we're going to do here is take a little closer look at the actual pump here, as you can see, and you can see they do actually swivel a little bit. They are pretty stiff, but they do have a little bit of movement and play in them, which means you can maneuver them around certain items. And you can see the copper bottom there, and it does come with a bracket. That bracket is already pre-installed on this unit, so if you did want to remove that and put the other bracket on, there's 4 little screws here. You can see, make sure you remove that plastic before you start putting the compound on, or you're going to end up with problems. And you can see the thickness there of the copper plate there as well, and it does do a pretty damn good job, I think. So let's take another look at some other items here. You can see this is the actual bracket where you fit in. That's the 2011 socket as well. I think there's other ones that fit on that as well. It does come with a 3-pin power cord on the end, which has to be put into the CPU port on the motherboard, which you'll see me install a little bit later on. It's a little bit fiddly moving these around. This is the actual pump here as well. As I said, this does have illumination on it. It does go round in a little circle depending on what model you buy. This one is actually blue, so it will go round blue, and also if you had red, it will do red as well. And I don't think that's interchangeable. The height for the pump, you can see there, I've already given you the dimensions for the actual pump as well. So again, the noise level of the pump is 25 decibels, so not too bad. And you can see it's been quality checked and passed, and this does come with a warranty. You can check their website out for that. So what we're going to do here now is take a look at installing this. Now there's quite a few ways of putting your fans on. I'm just going to put these on this way, but you can either have them push or pull, or if you're using 4 fans on this, which you could do if you want. If you add the 4 fans, this only comes with 2 fans in the actual kit, but if you did want to purchase 2 more fans, you can do. And if you wanted to replace the fans with something else, you can also do that too. It's entirely up to you, but you can either have them push or pull. Okay, so we're just going to quickly install this. It's pretty straightforward and easy to do. It comes with all the screws, and you just basically screw them up to where you want them, whether you want them on the other side or this side, or you want them push or pull. It's entirely up to you. So we're just going to quickly screw these on. Pretty straightforward and easy to do, as I said. Comes with all the screws, and then we have our actual fans installed onto the radiator. Now what you need to do here is get this offered up. Now you can see where I'm pointing at there is on the other side. If you wanted to put them on the other side, you can do, depending on sort of space you have inside your case. Now you can see I've already removed a water cooling system on this, and these are the actual screws that we need to use here. Because this is a 2011 socket, these screw straight into the actual board. I don't need to use a back plate, and I will clean off that compound a little bit later on. I'll show you that. So remember guys, when you're putting these screws in, don't over tighten them. You don't want to damage the screw or cross thread the screw or anything like that. They just need to be finger tight, and it is a little bit fiddly because obviously this is still inside the case, and I've already swapped out my old Kraken water cooling system just to show you how easy it is to install. So it's more like an upgrade really in this video, rather than a clean install from a fresh build, which will probably be easier to install than what it is but doing this. But even this way is pretty straightforward and easy to do on the 2011 socket board. You don't need no back plate. Now we'll remove all that compound, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. Pretty straightforward and easy to do that one. Again, here is the actual radiator with the fans on. I've got the little screws down there. That does come in the kit. Now you can have push and pull and 4 radiator fans on there if you wish. It's entirely up to you. They only come with 2 in the system, so if you do want to get those, you can order those, or you can use whatever fans you want. Some people like changing fans up, and we have our screws here. So I'm just going to offer this up to the case and get this installed. And again, once you get this inside your case, you can see here I've already got all my stuff inside the actual case already, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's not that hard to do. So I'm just going to quickly offer this up, and you can see the actual tube in there. You can either have them on the left side or the right side. It's entirely up to you. Sometimes you're forced to put them in a certain way because of the space inside the case, but fortunately I can have them this way, which is nice. So what I'm going to do here is put this up and screw a screw in to hold the actual radiator. Now again, you don't want to be using any type of machinery to screw these screws in. They're very small and tiny, and I've seen people using those, and you will end up stripping the screws or damaging the thread inside the radiator. I think I've seen people do that before, and you don't need to do that really. Just use a normal screwdriver. It's not that difficult. It's more difficult for me because I'm filming, but pretty much you just need a screwdriver for this type of work. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to clean this compound off. You can get compound cleaner and all that sort of good stuff, or isopropanol, anything like that will remove that from the actual CPU. Now I'm going to do a quick, what I call a dry test here. I'm just going to remove this label. Now if you don't remove this label, I've seen people leaving this on and putting compound on, and basically it will start to get hot and melt. So don't do that. Now you don't want to be touching this with your fingers because you're going to get oily residue from your fingers onto there. So keep that nice and clean. And I'm going to do a dry test at the moment. I'm going to put it down without putting any compound on there just to see whether everything works okay and fits into location okay, and I'm happy with it. That way you don't end up with compound everywhere and it becomes a bit of a mess when you're trying to fit stuff. So just make sure that you've got the right bracket in the right place and you're using the right bracket by testing it first. It's pretty easy to do. Just going to push this on. Once I know it sits on there okay. And the bracket system on this is pretty easy to do. And there you are. And all I'd need to do now, if to add compound on there, is to tighten the screws up. So we're just testing this out, and I'll give you a closer look to where that sits on the 2011 socket. It's quite a big socket, the 2011 socket, and the chip is pretty big. So let's get the cables put in for the actual fans. Now it does come with a splitter here, you can see, so I'm just going to put these in. And there's a little plastic ridge, they'll only go in one way. So just push these in, pretty straightforward and easy to do. Anyone can plug a plug in. And then just find the actual socket onto the board which says system fan or something like that, and you can plug it into there. Now remember, don't put this into your CPU, this goes into the system fan one. So we're just going to quickly put that down there. That's normally next to the actual CPU header on the board. So we're just going to plug that in. You won't be able to see this part because I can't get the camera into position, but it is down next to the CPU header normally. So that's pretty much that, and that will only go in one way because of the plastic ridges on there. So once we've got that plugged in, we can go ahead and put in our other cable. Now you can do a bit of cable management at this stage or later on, it's entirely up to you. But we're going to put our compound on now, and thankfully this does come with compound. And you can use whatever compound you want to use. I like to use the actual recommended compound that comes with the device because they've tested it with that. Now about a pea size is good enough, but I'm going to put a little bit extra because this CPU is pretty big. The 2011 socket is bigger than most CPUs, so I just want to put a bit more extra in to make sure we get an extra spread across there. And the line method and the cross method, all that sort of stuff, just put a pea amount size on there, that's good enough. You only need to put a blob of that on. And then that's pretty much that. You don't need to smear it across the CPU or anything like that. You just squidge that down. The pressure of the actual block will evenly distribute that across. So once we've got that down, we now need to screw down our screws. And these, again, I'm going to put these up finger tight for now. I'm going to put this one on one corner. And once you've done that, go to the opposite corner and put the next screw on. And these are the actual screws here. So don't work round in a square, just go on opposite corners, and then you should get an even pressure on that there. Just use your fingers to screw this off. Now once we've got this down, we're pretty much nearly there. So we'll just continue to screw these down. Now I do like to get a screwdriver afterwards and just do a little extra turn, just to make sure that they're nice and tight and you're getting good pressure from the block to the CPU itself. And you can see they're going on pretty easy. And again, as I said, I've got 8 sticks of memory in here, so it does make the room a little bit tight, but it's very easy to install this type of water block. And this has, as I said, up to 50,000 hours the actual water pump on here, and the bearing is a ceramic bearing. So we'll get this finished off here. I wanted to show you the whole of this part, so I didn't want to actually skip this bit. And I'm just gonna, once I've got them down finger tight, I'm just going to get my screwdriver and just do a little turn on these corners. First off, I'm going to go finger tight all the way around to make sure everything is okay. And then I'll do a little tiny turn with a screwdriver just to make sure. Now again, if you're happy with finger tight, then that's fine. But I like to do just that little bit of extra turn just to make sure everything is okay. And there's no vibration that's going to loosen those screws. So you can see a little quarter of a turn there, really, not half a turn. So I just need to continue going round and tightening the rest. Now let's put a bit of power to the actual computer to see what it looks like. And I must admit, that does remind me of the Iron Man, the battery thing that he had on his chest. It does look a little bit like that. It looks pretty cool. So what we're going to do next is do a little bit of testing. So let's have a look. So as you can see, we've got some temperatures up here now. The temperatures are about 28 Celsius. They've been on for a while, the computer, so it's got up to temperature. And you can see the idle temperatures around about 26 to 28. You can see it goes up and down, fluctuating. And also I've got the CPU Z, so you can see the CPU I was using. Also this is the i7 5820K, and the installation of this has been really easy, pretty straightforward and easy to do. And I'll put it up against the Kraken X61, I think was in here, with the 240mm rad, and there's not much difference, to be honest, with the build quality. Looking at the pump itself, the only difference is with the Kraken is the actual pump is a little bit more shallow, it's not as big, and also I don't know, I suppose the actual design of it's slightly different, but I mean the results are pretty damn good and pretty close. I mean all these closed loop systems are pretty close nowadays. There's not much vast difference in them. They're all pretty good at cooling the CPU. And I've got some other results up here so you can see. Now obviously I can do some more bench testing here if I wanted to, and run some more tests to show you what it's like under load. So let's take a look at some tests under load. I'm just going to quickly load up OCCT, and we're going to have a look at what the results are under load. And you can see the temperatures there of the CPU, which is pretty idle, and we're just going to hit on and run this for a minute or so you can see what the temperatures go like. And once I click on, it will take a bit of time to fire up. And once we get this done, it will put a severe amount of load to the computer. Now you're not going to get this amount of load probably in the whole computer's life. This does really stress the computer to the max, so it gives you an idea of what it would handle like under severe load. I mean gaming's probably not going to push it as high as what this would do. But you can see here already the temperatures will start to climb. and I'll show you something in a second, so you can see that it is on maximum load. We'll open up our CAM software. You can see here load 100%. You can see the temperature is 46 C, and if I left this, it will start to climb a little bit, and that's because obviously it's continually pushing at 100% load, and it will probably go up to around about 48 to 50. It'll sort of stabilize around about there. Okay, so we can leave this running, and it will probably stabilize at around about, I would say, 48 to 50 Celsius. Now, results may vary from computer to computer and depending on the ambient temperature. It's pretty cold in the UK at the moment, so we've got the heating on, and of course that will rise the temperatures up a little bit. If you're interested in this, then you can always head over to their website, ID Cooling's website, and take a look. They've got a full article on it and all the broken down description of the actual product itself. Gives you all the full details of it, okay, from there. And also they do sell it globally around the world, and you can tells you exactly what it's all made of, and the parts and sizes and everything you may want to know about the actual product itself. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up, so I hope this one helps you out, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. If you enjoy these videos, guys, then hit the like button, also the subscribe button if you want to keep up to date and be notified when we upload new videos. Okay, if you've got any problems with computers, head over to the forums. That's the place to be. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Bye for now.